Hey guys, Josh here. Welcome to Every Damn Friday. We've got a great episode today. Elvie Shane from Caneyville, Kentucky, just about 40 minutes up the road from me. He's had a number one hit. He's been doing it his way since the beginning, and I'm proud to call him my friend. I hope you enjoy our conversation today. And also, if you would like, we have a new sponsor, New Frontier Brands. They are the official outfitter of Every Damn Friday. Go type in the promo code EDF with your purchase and get 30% off. Guys, Elvie Shane here on Every Damn Friday. What do you say, guys? Welcome to Every Damn Friday. I've got a super duper special friend with us today, Mr. Elvie Shane. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, buddy. How are you doing? Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah.
Good deal.
Sound
Good deal.
fantastic. I see you're sitting there. Where'd I find you? On the back porch?
I'm like the back patio area at the Nashville spot.
Okay. That looks like an old house.
It is. I think it was built in '43. I've never lived in an old house until this one, and always kind of had I don't know why, but I always kind of had a thing against old houses. But now it's all I want.
They got mojo. I live in my grandparents' 100-year-old house, and
They got they have a soul.
man, look. So like, there's been 3 people die in one room of my house.
Yeah.
There's like if you spill water, it all runs from one side of the room to the other side. Like there's crack. Like it's just but it's kind of like a 100-foot tall oak tree. You can't
Yeah.
plant a 100-foot tall oak tree tomorrow.
No,
It takes a
that's a
long
good way
time.
to put it.
So the character, it took a long time to get there. But no, man, so the reason I'm excited about having you on here the most is not just because you're a fantastic artist and you've had number ones and all these things, but we grew up about 40 minutes from each other. And I think more than anything, the message that we can convey to kids and people out there doing this is that it's not an impossible dream.
Yeah, I've definitely tried to stress that to people from Caneyville, Litchfield, Clarkson, Grayson County, along the way. And, that's one part of having those kids sing on county roads and stuff. I didn't come from absolute nothing. But we definitely didn't have a whole lot, you know. And for the longest time in my life, I thought that it was damn near impossible to have anything close to what I've been able to experience.
You was going to drive a truck and you was going to sing along with the radio.
Yeah.
Well, but I do feel like that both of our communities are special in that Grayson County has a huge, like a long-standing musical heritage. Your all's orchestra program. I mean, what rural community has
right.
orchestra, right? And all of the
Yeah.
the old time fiddlers contests and all the wonderful fiddle players. They're not I'm sure they're violinists, but we'll call them fiddle players that have come from Litchfield and Grayson County. Jimmy Mattingly, Tom Whiteley was in Florida and Jericho Woods. He's probably one of the most talented musicians I've ever met, and they all come from this little bitty old like Evely or somewhere like that. And Brett County's the same way. Our course program was the cultural event of the year. Anytime we had a show, everybody came, they supported it. But I still never thought that music as a career was a real thing. So what happened when you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this?
I don't know what happened exactly. I know that, the foundation, and I think the reason why there's been so many people come out of that area and do something with music is that it's about as real as a place to grow up as you can get. Nothing's really sugar coated in where we come from. So everything from the best life you can live to the worst life you can live is right in front of you, the way it is every day. So and
also
the nicest house is right beside the house with the tires holding the roof on.
That's what I was going to say. There's not a whole lot of financial difference if we're talking about billionaires and millionaires. There's not a big difference between the wealthiest people in Breck and Grayson County and the people who are on welfare. They're just one of them can eat out once a week, and the other one probably goes to Salvation Army. But I just I think it shaped you. It's probably can we say that your upbringing and the fact that you have these, you know, like you stand on your convictions, and that's a very small town rural thing. Has it hurt you sometimes that you're that guy?
I would imagine so. I'm uh I'm wearing a couple bruises right now. I can't really dig into. Uh but you know, I think that the peace that I feel right now after the very hard decisions I've had to make over the last 2 days of my life is worth was worth making them, because I haven't felt as at peace as I do right now
So when
in
we ran
over
across
two
each other,
years.
I mean, I knew about you for a long time, but I remember one time in particular, we were at Soundstage and you were there working on something. We were getting ready to
Yeah.
go back to a festival. We'd added a couple people and we were doing some rehearsals there. And for people who don't know, there's places in Nashville you can rent out whatever size venue you're playing, and they'll set it up and they've got it all ready to go, and you just go and plug, and you can pretend like you're in an arena or you can pretend like you're in a club. And we were doing some of that rehearsing. But at that point in Jericho Woods, I was I had become desperate. I was chasing something. I didn't want
Yeah.
it to end. Like and I made some decisions, through that. And Paul and I made them together. But we made musical decisions and people that you work with and things along the way that if I could go back and do it different, maybe I would. I don't regret any of it. But I feel like since day one, you have kind of just been like, nah, this is what I'm going to do. I mean, and
Oh,
let's just talk about the number one. Who get Nobody in Nashville gets to write their own songs and put them out as their lead single.
yeah. It was I'll credit that to a guy named John Loba, a guy that runs BMG in Nashville, that signed me to my deal. He was, he believed in that one song so much he signed me a whole record deal for one song, and took that song to radio. Was adamant. I honestly tried to fight taking that song to radio first.
Was
I
it kind of
wanted,
like your John Mayer daughters?
yeah, I was like, man, if we do this, a lot of people are going to be very confused afterward.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, they were.
Yeah.
That song's definitely an anomaly compared to every other song we have. But also, I mean, it helped me, the fact that he was so adamant at taking that to radio first, and then we did do it, and it did the thing. But I was like, well, how do I go from that to all this other stuff I did? And I was like, it gave me the realization, is like, it don't matter. I don't care. All I care about is it true? Yeah,
It
that
was your
song's true.
song. It was your
It came
song.
from here. Yeah, it came from the truth just as much as Appalachian Alchemy came from the truth. Those are both things I know, and they're complete opposite ends of the spectrum of good person, bad person, good things, love, bad things.
That's the thing I think
I,
about the difference between an entertainer and an artist. An entertainer has a thing, like a shtick, and they become known for this thing. And Nashville is really good about formulas. And you wrote this kind of song last time. Let's do one more kind of like that, and then we're going to do a slow song, but we're going to come back to this thing. And if you're an artist, I think you wrote that song, and you're like, I'm not going to write any more songs like that. I already wrote that song. How can I dig a little deeper? How can I stretch? How can I take advantage of my influences? And the industry doesn't like that.
yeah,
They don't like a guy that goes, no, I think I'm gonna turn things up on this one. Or
yeah. I mean, there's a model that tends to work more often than not within the country music industry, especially, and um, it's just not really my thing. There's obviously there's some unicorns that make their way through here and there, and there's people that come along, change the game every now and then. But I don't know, man. For me, I look for a feeling, and I get the same feeling for a song like My Boy as I do for a song like, again, Appalachian Alchemy. And I know immediately most of the time if that song I'm going to sing in front of people. Um, sometimes I wish I could be that guy that was just like, yeah, man, put that thing on there,
Do
and
whatever you want. Just
yeah, do that. Make that. Yeah, cool. That sounds like it'll work on the radio. Do that. Do that.
well, as a guy
Uh,
who didn't have a number one, and a guy who still like actively writes music and wants to put things out and wants to continue to do that kind of stuff. I'll never have I'll never have anything close to what I had before as far
yeah,
as perceived success, right?
yeah,
But man, it's like I could put a record out tomorrow, or I can work with this weird songwriter that doesn't fit my style at all, or I can do a rock record and then I can turn around and do a Christmas record if I want. You know, it's like there's a certain amount of freedom to just not being attached to anything.
you don't know what you got till you get what you think you wanted.
There you go. There's your
Yeah.
song. There's your next one.
It's
Well, while we're kind of being dark, uh,
that's
what,
if nothing else, I am that.
yeah. Well, so first song out of the gate, number one. It is what you
Yeah.
wanted, and I say out of the gate. I mean that was what Backslider came out in 21. So you've been playing music for 10 years already.
Yeah.
Uh, but first major release single goes number one. I'm sure there was you were riding a big wave for a while, but was there any like negative? Because everybody can understand how great it would feel, but what was kind of like the negative repercussions of coming right out of the gate like that?
Well, I feel like the biggest thing has been trying to get people to understand, that my boy is definitely a thing and whatever, but like getting them to latch onto the other music. I feel like if we hadn't came out with my boy, almost that people would have latched onto all the other music in a different way, and the same people even. But it's like I had a radio person tell me here all back. It's like, yeah, we just like my boy was amazing and everything, but everything else just came out so different. It's not really recognizable, and I was like, our listeners are looking for recognizable
Ready
stuff,
for
and
another wedding song.
yeah, but I'm like, well, it only gets recognizable if you continue to play it at the same time. It's like so, but they got a job to do, and they got people to answer to as well. And a lot of people get pissed off at radio PDs and radio in general, and I
Hey,
don't
look,
care, man.
the only guy that plays whatever he wants is Paul Priest.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody else has to play what's on the list.
yeah. I just want to, I think the hardest realization for me is that, uh, number one is what I thought I really wanted, and I'm very proud to have that. And it's easy to, I guess, look at me as ungrateful or whatever. If I'm sure some people would hear me talking and feel that way, but I'm
But
not ungrateful. It's just that,
I joked about the John Mayer thing with Daughters, but he was
yeah,
like he didn't want that to go out as a single, and it won multiple Grammys. He's like, I ate cereal out of that Grammy. It's like he
yeah,
said, and I appreciate it and I love it, but I was immediately identified as that guy, you know,
yeah,
super soft and adult contemporary guy, and
yeah.
he's railed against that a couple times, and Damascus was obviously, you
I
know,
rail against it.
yeah, you were like, look, no, I'm not this only this thing. I'm also this thing. Um, but I think
Yeah, I just
that's an
it just
artist.
didn't translate to ticket sales. And that's what I discovered that I actually wanted. I thought I wanted this accolade or that accolade or this and that, and for the last 4 years all I've really wanted was to see more tickets. So yeah, I'll be honest, man. I mean, in some areas we're able to sell 400 tickets. Some areas we're able to sell 16, So I mean, that's the truth of the matter. And
Do you think that the fact that you had a radio hit, and I don't want to belittle any of those fans that only listen to pop, big
yeah,
station radio, but it's almost like people who watch American Idol. It's like
yeah,
once that season's over and their person won, then they're ready for the next season, and you're wanting to build people, you know,
more
like
organically.
I hear you saying it almost would have been better if you'd started slow, built, and then boom, #1 song for your ass.
Yeah, I mean I'm restarting now. I'm gonna do that finally for the first time, and it's like if anything that's in the way, I can't. I got to get around it at this point. I um I have so much respect for so many Americana artists. I hate the term as much as Tyler Childers does, Americana.
Ain't no part of nothing, Elvie.
I went to I was blessed last year. I got to play Luck Reunion in Texas, the Willie's Luck Reunion, and there was just this plethora of different artists there. Devin Gilfillian, I believe is his name.
Saw him at Bourbon and Beyond.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Katie Pruitt. Um, Spoon opened up for Willie Nelson. Like, uh, oh, Zella Day. Like, there's so many incredible artists that are lumped into this weird like Americana, whatever that is, And I think it just stands for good music most of the time, more
Yeah.
often than not,
Yeah.
and good country music
Good
most of the
music
time
without a
as
budget.
well. Yeah, good music without a budget, great music without a budget. A lot of times, and I tried to tap into that because after the way that the industry works, sometimes you get to ride that wave, but then if you don't if something don't happen and you stay on that wave, then you're quickly it's like Foo Fighters done on to the next one, and that's just the nature of the beast. I'm not mad at anybody about it anymore. Um, but I noticed that was happening, but I was still like, I felt like I was starting to put out the best work I had ever done. And I wanted to get out and play it for people. And so I tried to explore that route and go that route. And
But
over there, it was,
the acoustic Damascus
yeah,
tour,
yeah,
that's kind of what you brought to the Randall Barn, and everybody that was there. Obviously, there's a lot of people that some people that knew you, some people that were maybe friends and family, but a lot of those people were people from other places and people that just wanted to see you. And I think what they loved most about that show was you telling the stories and you having those moments, and it was very relatable. And I think that was the perfect representation of what you do. It I don't
yeah.
think you could do that in front of Brooks and Dunn at a stadium.
I don't have time to do it. And it's a very tight thing. And, you got this amount of time to do this. And this is how a show's supposed to go. And that is a show. And to me, I don't like playing shows. I like hanging out in the living room with a bunch of my friends, and I want my shows to feel that way. The only time I don't talk very much, I still talk a whole lot, and that's when my throat's sore. I've been told so many times by so many different people in the industry, you got to quit talking, you got to quit doing. But then I get done, I go meet the fans after the show, and they're like, "I love that you tell the stories behind the songs. We never get to hear this stuff." So I'm like, "Who am I going to listen to?" Like
I mean, I
they're
feel like
buying tickets and T-shirts.
some people would be interested and probably would love the songwriters more than they like the artist if they just knew who they were.
You know what's something really cool is starting to happen in the industry. There's so many great songwriters that are just great people, and they might even like they might have this bubblegum song that went #1 for them, but they have all these amazing songs. They're just doing their job and right with artists, and and when you do that job, it's a grind, and you got to write all kinds of different music from your greatest, heartfelt down to the core, true shit cowboy dreams Philip Lamon song to I had some help. It's like
Yeah.
you got to write all this stuff, and but now I'm starting to see a lot of my buddies that are songwriters are getting gigs, playing private parties
Well,
and
like
backyards
Ray
and
Tier.
making decent money. Yeah,
Ray Tier's
yeah.
out there killing it, just being funny and wearing a turtle jersey. It's like, but I'll say this too, that, and I've talked this to a couple other songwriters I've had on here, like the Jaron Johnsons of the world, and even the Chris Stapletons of the world,
Yeah,
who got their success with hit songs and probably got their financial stability with hit songs for other people,
yeah.
and were able to, and maybe this is where you're at, but those songs supported the fact that he could go out and play. I mean, when Chris Stapleton Stapleton was doing Johnson Brothers, you know, they, that was the
They
back
didn't have to make
man.
no money. He had
Oh,
it already.
yeah,
Yeah,
he'd already
yeah.
been like, just to be your man or whatever was the number one. Jaron, Cadillac 3, they don't care if they're huge because they're all writing hit songs. And I wonder if that's not something that's on your radar is, you know what, I'm good at this and I do that stuff and it can support the other thing too. Or are you a guy that just writes songs for Elvie?
Nah, man, I suck at that. If I'm in a room and I'm writing a song, I've tried to be that guy, but I just suck at it. If I don't like this or that, then I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fight with all my might to make it something I do like. You know,
I
and
think you do have to turn it off. You have to turn it off and go, I'm not writing this for me. I'm writing it for this person or I'm
yeah.
writing.
See, that's what I suck at. I don't have that switch. It's just really hard for me to do that. Yeah, I feel like if I'm in a room with somebody who I definitely feel really connected with, and I really dig what they're doing, it's much easier for me to just get in the flow because we kind of all are meeting on a level playing field. But I wish I had that bone in me too, man. But I just that I don't know that that's my strength. I get too attached, especially if you get into it. You know, sometimes you just have like the muscle exercising songs. You know, those happen. But if I'm getting into the song and then I'll get anxiety real bad if I hear a line that I feel like is taking the song off the rails and I feel like it ruins the
Because
whole
you got
song.
blood
I
in
start
it.
losing my shit. Yeah, I start losing my shit. So, uh, I wish it wasn't that way. Maybe I need to work on that. You know,
No, no, no. No, I was just throwing that out there. I didn't know if that was something that you had good experiences with in the past. Let me we've kind of been negative Nancy's here. What's going good right now, man? Like what is growing great for Elvie Shane at the moment?
yeah. I mean, my wife and my daughter are about 30 feet from me, so that's pretty amazing. You know, I spent first year after my boy went number one, I was home for 40 days and missed out on a lot of my daughter, so I'm getting to see a lot more of her these days. I have learned in the last couple of days how amazing people in this industry can be when it's time to do hard things, and I've gained immense respect for people, even more respect than I already had for them. There are truly just really good people in higher up positions in the industry, and they're all trying to navigate this crazy Wild West scene that is
Yeah.
country music in Nashville, Tennessee right now. But there are truly just some good people right now out there working, and also recognizing the changes that are happening and trying. There's people out there that are trying to really fight for good songs to still have space um amongst all the chaos of TikTok and all that stuff. And Josh, I don't necessarily think we've been negative Nancy's as much as these are just current issues, man. And
You're right.
it is very much at the tip of a lot of artists and writers' tongues right now.
I
I
mean,
feel great today, man.
it is like I have to watch out because I'm living my best life. I am getting to do everything that I want to do, and I'm so grateful for that. I have this going on where I get to talk to friends and talk about these issues you're talking about. I've got the barn, I've got art and music that I'm doing here, and I have a great job, great family, all that stuff. But I'll still see some little TikTok upstart that has to take voice lessons to go on
Yeah.
tour, and
You have your knee jerk reaction.
you're like, oh, I played for 25 years, like or on the other side of that, like Old 60, they're from Hallsville and
Yeah.
Beaver Dam. So I couldn't be happier for those guys.
Yeah.
But they only had like 5 songs when they got picked up. They had to play covers for a
Yeah.
while until they wrote more songs. Yeah. So it is not like it was when you and I started, where they were like, yeah, when you can get 50 tickets sold in that market, maybe we'll sign you to our booking agency. Or if you can sell 2,000 units on your own, maybe you'll get a nod from a record label. But now it's
Yeah.
like, boom.
It's a very it's very different. I came in on the tail end of the old way of doing things. I was kind of on the crest of it, you know, uh, the old way and the new way of doing things, and definitely trying to learn how to navigate it with with some integrity or with a little bit of a hybrid of both ways of doing things. But yeah, it's crazy. It can really frustrate you. You can put in 10, 25 years and you feel like you deserve this, you deserve that. Sometimes you gotta, unfortunately, you just gotta get to a place where you realize that we don't, nobody deserves shit, and the world don't
You're
owe
right.
us nothing.
You're right.
And
Get what you
people
get. You
just
don't
get
throw a
lucky.
fit.
You know,
Well,
luck used to be a thing. I always said it was a mediator between preparation and opportunity, but since COVID, it's definitely changed a lot in the music industry. Um,
I
but
think you use social
there is,
media and TikTok and all that well. I think you're probably the most direct communicator of what's going on with you of anybody that I follow that is an artist.
well, damn, that means a lot. I think I suck at social media so bad,
No,
but I,
it's because it's not polished, but like you'll just turn it on and go, "Hey, this is what's going on today."
yeah,
And if
yeah,
somebody's a fan of you, that along for the whole journey. Well, you mentioned Foo Fighters a while ago. One of my favorite records is the one where they recorded in each city, and then you could watch the documentary and you could see what was going on when they recorded that song. And so they all have like a backstory and a meaning, and you're connected to them. And like as you're telling these stories, even if it's on just some live stream or you walking through the woods or whatever, telling what's on your mind, I think that's what people in the end are really, really longing for is like a connection. And COVID had a lot to do with that. That's probably why I do this because I live in
yeah,
the middle of Breck County and I don't get to talk to nobody. But
yeah. I mean, hopefully, people will start liking that a little more. I definitely don't have a shtick to my socials. It's not like there's not like an aesthetic or a
I don't have a
thing that it.
plan.
Yeah,
Three posts a day.
yeah, I just can't do it, man. The moment I start doing that stuff, I feel a little. I do feel like there needs to be a little bit more. Like I need to have some kind of schedule just for my mental health. That I wouldn't be so stressed out about it if I did put a little more effort into it and be like, hey, this day of the week, I'm going to post a cover. You know, if I
Yeah.
write a new song, I'll sing it that day or something. That if I write a new song I'm excited about, I'll sing it on there that day, whatever. But then I also don't want to lose if I decide to go for a run and I'm thinking of some crazy shit that's going on right now, running
And you're
thoughts, baby. Yeah,
you got your phone up while you're running. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, but there's definitely a balance, but it's a necessary evil, and I think we all are afraid that if you don't post something once a week or once every 3 days, that you're going to lose them in your algorithm and all that crap. Like I don't know.
yeah.
I did hear a thing the other day, which is interesting because I'm promoting shows occasionally, and they did say you're going to get tired of your advertising before most people will ever see it. It's like I'll
Yeah.
post something about something. I'll be like, man, I've already made 3 posts about this event. Like people are going to get so tired of seeing this, but most of your people haven't seen it yet, and that's a hard thing to get your brain around.
But it's killing people, man. Like I mean, it literally is killing people. There's these people will hedge their entire bets. They'll put so much effort, so much money into equipment to make this video that's so good, and they'll post it, and they'll be like, "This will be the one," and then it doesn't do shit, and it
No, it's the
destroys
one with the
them.
cat. It's the one with the cat, like
Yeah,
like getting scared and jumping. Like my son has more
yeah.
YouTube followers than I do, and he just posts like little cap cut art animations. I can't. I don't understand.
Well, I don't understand it either, man. We are in a beautiful time right now, though. I mean, it as frustrating as it is, you can pretty much you have a chance, no matter how small it is, you have a chance to make it right now in more ways than there's ever been available.
And I think there's
You
more
can,
people like you who are willing to connect. Like, well, this podcast has been an example. Like, I just reach out to people and be like, "Hey, would you be willing to do this?" And most of the time, they'll either say, "I'm too busy," or "No, I don't want to," or "Yeah, that'll be great." But there's very few that go unanswered. Hell, I sent a message directly to Sierra Farrell on
yeah,
Instagram this morning saying,
yeah,
"You know what? You don't know me, but it'd be really cool if you sang on this one song." you're probably not going to read this message, and that's okay, but I wanted to send it. And she replied, and it's like, I'm not feeling real good right now, and maybe when I get feeling better. And I was like, holy shit, she just replied to my Instagram message.
That's pretty sick.
But there's a lot of people like that are just like,
Sierra, I don't know Sierra, but I see, that she kind of runs around in that crew with like Benjamin Todd and Luke Nelson and those guys. And I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with those guys. I met Luke once or twice and everything, but even over socials, they're always responsive and just they seem like they're just really good people. I just reached out to Benjamin the other day.
I could see y'all being bros.
Well, he's been really cool to me on socials and we've kind of been back and forth commenting on some people's stuff, but I reached out to him the other day and was like, man, I'm about to make some changes and I've been watching you for 6 or 7 years off and on, and I feel like you got a little wisdom you could offer me, and I got so much respect for people like that have just done it. I just want to do it the hard way, man. Everybody I've ever respected and loved has done it. That's what they did, and I want to go down the same road my heroes have gone down.
Yeah.
I want to know what that was like, and I it's funny that I'm not fussing about it, but it's like things came so easy so early for the first time in my life, and I wasn't used to that, and it fucked me up, and so now I'm like, I feel more like me. I'm like, okay, here's the struggle. Let's fucking go. Excuse my plain English.
Well, no, but I think that is so when Jericho Woods first started, I quit my job. Looking back, there's 99% of the things that we did I could have done and still been a high school ag teacher, right? But I needed to feel the pressure of, here we go. Like I gotta make a little bit of money. Like I gotta keep things moving. And I think the struggle is, the hustle is the thing. And for me, I think the hustle is the part that I love the most.
Yeah, me too, man. And it's a catch-22 because the more successful you get, the more people you get around you, and the more jobs everybody's doing that you used to do, and then you take for granted that things are just getting done. And you forget that they don't even do that job. You just get so many people around you that are doing so many things that you're like, oh, well, I thought you would do that, and like you forget, no, that's my job. Oh shit, well, I'm sorry.
Nick Jamerson was talking about that. He was like, because he went out with Charles Wesley Godwin for a few shows, and he said, I kind of got that taste back of like when Sunday Best was big. And he said, I kind of got that taste again of like, man, it could be like this. He said, but I resist it because I really like being in that middle place where I'm still kind of doing all my stuff. I don't have a lot of people working for me. I can make more money, but I'm making enough money and I'm doing it how I want. And I think he'll tell you that he doesn't have it figured out, but I feel like he thinks he's in control,
Yeah.
That seems like a good feeling.
The more money, more problems is a real thing,
Hey, Biggie right there.
Yeah. A $6 shirt turns into a $60 shirt. A $5,000 truck turns into a $50,000 truck. And you're in the same damn place you was before, regardless. And it don't do anything for your heart or your head or heart. In the end of it, I know now because I grew up broke as shit, and I had a little bit of money for about a year, and I figured out how to spend it. So, but dude, I mean, honestly, I'm definitely in a transitional period right now. There's a lot of uncertainties. But
how many songs are going to come
feel
from that,
good,
right? Like,
yeah,
you're probably getting ready to just write your greatest album, and you don't even know it yet.
I don't know what I'm all right, but I feel like there's some shit to say.
Well, and you don't have to. You won't have to answer for any of it either.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's probably what I like the best about you, man. There were growing up in a small town too. I always said the right thing, and I always did what I was supposed to, and I was president of the class and did all the stuff right. But there was a lot of times where I wanted to be like, you know what, kiss my ass, or no, I ain't gonna do that. And it took me being a musician and doing that for a living and trying to get screwed by, you know, venue owners and booking agents and having to, you know, stick your foot in the door so they didn't lock it on you when they owed you $1,000. You know, it's like it took all those things to get me to a place where I could kind of stand on my own 2 feet. And but I feel like you've been that guy since the start. And so I'm not worried about you. I
Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that it comes across that way. If nothing else, I want to be a symbol of integrity to people. I want people to be influenced by that,
Don't you
and
feel
I
like
want
that's
to see more
probably
of it.
why you were on that the Kid Rock, Jason Aldean, on that like I'm not trying to lump you in with those guys,
Yeah.
but but I feel like you do kind of all fly the flag of I'll say I'll say what's on my mind.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what's on our minds, me and those guys is sometimes in stark contrast, and sometimes it aligns. But I was proud to be on that. I was proud to have the opportunity to a lot of my people and the people that I truly care about. I feel like they hear the same thing all the time about these issues and stuff. And no disrespect to Kid or Jason or anything, but they are very one sided on a lot of these issues. And I just wanted to go in there. I was just proud to have that opportunity to go in there and be able to stand in front of the people I love and say, "Hey, man, I hear you. Like I hear you. I get it. I come from where you come from. I get it. But also make sure and take time to say the hell with this one sided bullshit and remember that, you know, we're all just going through this thing together. We're all just trying to everybody wants the same thing, man. They just want some peace and they want to be happy and they want to feel loved. And
And there's a whole
I
lot of
just
people that just want us to
it's
fight each
just
other.
ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, man. I don't what you do doesn't affect me. And I used to think because I see it on my phone all the time, it affects me, but it only affects me on my damn phone because I look at it all the time. Okay. That's it. I can turn this son of a bitch off and I don't hear nothing about anything I disagree with. I
I
don't
don't
hear
watch
nothing
the news.
about this battle or this person transitioning or this. I don't hear any of that if I don't
Yeah.
look at my phone,
You don't look
you
for it.
know? I don't if I don't look for it. And I'm like, I've always wanted to create a culture where my biggest redneck buddy I know can stand right beside somebody with green hair and piercings on their face and they can both have the same good time at my show. And so I was proud to have the opportunity to play that and put out more of a message of unity.
I
I
saw some
also
videos
feel like
of you doing what you weren't supposed to, which was talk. But
yeah,
I saw you talking about some of that stuff. Yeah, I really liked it. You sent me
people need to be pissed off right now. There's plenty to be pissed off
yes,
about, but be pissed off at the right people, not the people right beside you.
yes. What you sent me a song the other day. You're working with an artist, so you tell me about that a little bit.
Oh, Jade. Oh my God, man. She opened up for us at the OG basement. First time playing OG basement in Nashville.
I saw that
And
video. That was good.
brother, this girl, we're about to put songs out starting in March, I believe. We got 7 songs recorded. My first time in the producer seat. My producer Oscar Charles was kind enough to let us use his facility and co-produce with me and engineer the project. And he really did. He gave me a lot of reins and like set me free and stepped in when he felt like he had an idea worth stepping in on and or when he thought I might be taking things off the rails and
Did
help
you
me
go
out
all
through
Rick
it. But
Rubin on her?
I did a little bit, I did. Dude, Rick Rubin is a weird thing. People, it's either one or the other. People love him or people think he's full of shit. I tend to think a little bit of both. I think I got so much respect for him. I think that book that he put out was incredible.
I
Yet
love
it
it.
also contradicts itself at times. But as I read and I would see contradictions, I was like, can't be mad at him because I do the same shit every day.
Yep.
You know. Um,
Yeah. No,
it was very in the moment when he was writing that book, whatever he was feeling at that moment. But it helped me a lot.
well, what about you? You got music in the can?
Possibly,
That
possibly.
sounded like you lawyered up with that answer.
Yep, possibly. We'll
But,
see.
but
Time will tell.
well, but I
Spring,
mean,
spring
spring
is a time of new flowers
started.
and leaves growing. So
Well,
right now they're falling.
well, all sorts of symbolism. Um, but man, I love Damascus. Um, I love the live show. I love the small production. I love the sitting on the stool and doing the thing. And
Yeah,
yeah, you're not going to make $100,000 a night doing that,
yeah,
but you might make 100,000 fans and over time, and
yeah.
that's the thing. Like you want to do this forever. Like Bob Dylan, Nick and I were talking about this. He had records that were number one, then he had records that only hit 82, and some that were 35, and then maybe another five. It's like you want to. I think it was DJ Jazzy Jeff who said you want to die empty. Like if you got a
I
song,
like that.
like write it, put it out, don't sit on it. Like let get to work and then get to the next thing. It's like I don't. I'm trying to approach it from a very stream of consciousness thing. Like after summer was over, I was in a kind of like Picasso. I was in a blue period, so I did some songs and I just went ahead and recorded them, stuck them out. Didn't think about it a whole lot. Didn't get a whole lot of response either. But it was no different than painting something or writing in your journal or whatever. Like it was just that was what I did, and that's the beauty of the Wild West. It's I think anything is possible, and you've got the
Yeah, I
luxury
mean,
of having a little bit of that. You've still got those friends, right? You still got the people who like you said that saw your career for what it could be and are probably still behind that. Uh, Ones that you're working with now or some that you've worked with before that if you bring them something that's like, hey man, this is the best thing I've ever done. Like,
man, I'm proud to say that's what I was saying earlier. There's so many good people that are in industry. Industry gets a bad rep a lot, and even for me sometimes. But there are a lot of great people. I mean, there was a time where I stepped away from a team that I'd worked with for a long time, and I had a show that night, and a bunch of them still showed up to my show to support me and brought friends. And
because they got it. They knew you were
yeah,
trying to do what was best for
yeah,
Elvie. That's all they wanted.
yeah. There's truly people that's all they're in it for. It's like obviously they got to keep their jobs and they got to do what they got to do to make money, survive themselves. But there are people that'll believe in you and latch on and they only care because they care about you. So it is I don't know, man. It's a lot of turmoil, a lot of up and down, a lot of figuring it out. But
If
I
it was
thank God
easy,
if
if it
God
was
gave
easy,
me anything,
everybody
it was
do it.
a yeah, right. You just got to follow your intuition, man. Follow your heart, and I mean, sometimes you gotta be willing to risk, like literally risk it all, and
Well,
that's when you will find out. Uh, Will Smith, one time I heard him talking about jumping out of an airplane, and he was talking about at that moment, right past sheer fear is pure bliss, and I don't know.
I think it's all gonna work out.
Sometimes you just gotta jump out of the damn plane.
Hey, Elvie, man, I know you're a busy guy. You're there with your family. I appreciate you taking time out with me today. I
Yeah, brother.
I have no doubt that you're going to continue to do great things. And as a fan, it doesn't matter what level that's on. I think your fans are always going to be your fans. But listen, I think there's a need for people who speak the truth and for people who are telling real people stories and you do that and uh, I think we're all going to be okay.
Awesome, buddy. Well, thank you very much for having me. It's good to see you again.
Man,
Congrats on the cool gig I seen you on the other day. You deserve it, and you have a blast. Have a good time. I think you got a show this weekend close to home, don't you?
yeah, I'll be over at the Rough River Greater Metropolitan Area.
All
Probably
right. Well,
drinking
you
some
enjoy
wine. Or
yourself there too. Yeah.
all right, buddy. Elvie Shane, ladies and gentlemen. Be looking for new music from him this spring. Follow him on Instagram and the socials, and he'll talk to you while he's on his walks in the woods and tell you tell you to get out and vote and all those good things because he's a good guy. Elvie, thanks so much, buddy.
Hey, thank you, brother. Love you and love you guys for watching. Thank you.
Love you too.